The Mark Levinson 5909 in front of us right now is one of the most expensive pair of headphones on the market right now, a wireless pair of headphones at that as well. You're looking at around £999, so just under £1,000. But are they worth that price tag though? Let's dig deeper. As far as design go, you get a case, a travel case that comes with it. It's nice and secure and very sturdy as well. And inside of this case, which is kind of bulky for carrying it around all the time, but they do protect your pair of headphones that cost just under £1,000 very well. Inside the case, you get the built-in or integrated pouch, which allows you to store other accessories that this comes with. So you do get your airplane adapter, so that way you'll be able to connect this when you're flying. Really nice and nifty. You do get an adapter for 3.5mm to 6.3mm adapter. So again, if you're going to be connecting this to an amp or whatever you're going to connect this to, guitars, etc., you'll be able to do so. Or maybe even DJing, you might be able to connect this for that purpose as well. Then there's a USB-C to full USB-A adapter, which you can use for different purposes, whichever one serves your needs. But that adapter is also inside the packaging as well. You then get a USB-C to USB cable, so you can use this to charge the pair of headphones back up. It's nice and long as well. It's got this nice braided feeling to it, like texture to it as well, which adds that premium element of the 5909s. Elsewhere, you also get a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone cable. So with this one, you'll be able to connect it directly to your smartphone, for example. So I've got the Galaxy S23 Ultra here. I'll be able to plug that directly into my smartphone and enjoy my audio from that source as well, which is pretty cool. Not many headphones give you that option anymore. And as well as you guys might know, some smartphones don't even come with that adapter anymore. So it's actually quite useful that they've put that in the packaging ready to go. It also came with a longer, really long cable as well that I don't know where I've placed it because I've been using this for a while now. And you get your user manual and all that jazz when you do get one of these, so you won't get stuck in terms of getting set up very quickly. Although they are very, very easy to set up. It's one of the easiest things to do, and we'll talk about that just in a second as well. So on the headphone itself, you have number 5909 written on the side there, nice and almost like etched into the actual thing itself, which is pretty cool. You get anodized aluminium for the headband, which is nice and tensioned correctly, so it doesn't have too much tension in terms of when you have it on your head. It doesn't feel too tight or too soft that it feels like it's going to fall off. It's finished in a nice leather material, which is really nice and soft underneath as well. Nice padding underneath there, so when you wear it on top of your head, they're nice and comfortable also over there. On the other side, we have right and left written on the pair of headphones themselves, and it's nice and subtle, so they're not too obvious that it's written there. So you get, as you can see there, right and left. Underneath that, we have a couple of buttons to use. So we have the power button, which is also used for pairing this up very quickly, and you get your active noise cancellation button, which you can use to cycle through all the different active noise cancellation modes. On the other side, we have your volume rocker buttons, which they're nice and clicky, they're nice and easy to recognize when you're reaching for them. And the other side, you quickly get used to it after a while, but at first, you tend to make the error of pressing the power button instead of active noise cancellation button. But it does give you voice feedback, so when you press the right button, you get some sort of voice that tells you active noise cancellation is activated and so on. We have 4 microphones on this, so this is very good again for making phone calls as well. And the ear cups themselves, they are very comfortable. It's finished in this nice foam padding, which is also removable. So if you need to replace it or clean it or anything like that, you can just pry it open like so, and then you get to your padding and the foam underneath there, so you can see what's actually underneath here as well. But yeah, just put it back on there. You get a nice clicky feedback to let you know that it's nicely placed back into place, and that's not going to fall off anytime soon unless you pry it open yourself. In terms of articulation, so this fully rotates as well. So again, if you're going to be placing this around your neck like so, they just sit nice and comfortably well on top of your head, and you can adjust the headbands as well. So depending on your head size, you can easily just adjust them to fit your head size perfectly. And these are quite flexible as well, so you can see there, they're not going to break anytime soon. It's nice and solid, and although we get some plasticky materials here for something that costs about £1,000, it doesn't fill you with confidence at first, but over time you realize that actually these are really nice and comfortable because it's lighter compared to having a full metal build, which means when you wear it over time, it starts to get neck fatigue or just head fatigue from wearing them, and ear fatigue as well. So it's nice to have that light material whilst you're keeping it nice and premium. You got Mark Levinson on the side, which I quite like the red sort of tones that they've got going on as well, which is really good. If you don't know who Mark Levinson is, maybe Google them, or just to give you a top line, they are part of Harman Group, which means you are in for a treat when it comes to the sound quality. In terms of how they fit nice and comfortable on the head, like so. So it just sits nicely. Adjust the headband. And there's not much tension here, so it's not too tight on top of your head. It just feels nice and comfortable. It just sits there very well. Just the way that I like to enjoy my sound when I have it on top of my head. Some of the spec highlights for you. You have high-res audio. You have LDAC audio codec compatibility. This supports 24 bits and 96 kilohertz processing as well, and acoustic response of up to 40 kilohertz. The drivers themselves are tuned 40mm drivers. They're beryllium coated drivers, which is really nice. They are acoustically customized or optimized to the Harman curve, which we'll talk about more in a bit. This supports Bluetooth 5.1 with, like I said, LDAC already. You have AAC and aptX adaptive, which is basically you have all the really good codecs that you need for good sound quality. When it comes to the battery life, you're looking at up to 34 hours of battery life, 30 hours of playtime with active noise cancellation enabled, and up to 6 hours playtime with 15 minutes of quick charge. So just plug it in that USB-C cable and you are good to go with quick charge technology in there as well. In terms of fitting, I think it fits really well on top of my head. If I have any issues with this, it will be that it's quite bulky, so it sticks out quite a little bit, so you can obviously see it as you wear it out and about. They are a bulky pair of headphones. I love the button placement. They're very easily reachable, so as soon as you go like this, you know where the buttons are. It's volume and it's your active noise cancellation here. The active noise cancellation and the power ones, they're quite close together for my liking. I wish the active noise cancellation was perhaps just right at the bottom here or something, so I can easily just tap like that to change the different noise cancellation level. The volume is fine because that's the only buttons that are placed here, so I can easily just reach and change the volume rocker as I wish to do so. But yeah, only that button there and the bulkiness in terms of design for me. The plasticiness I can get over very quickly because they're lightweight. It keeps the weight level lower by having this sort of material on there, but it's still quite robust because after having this I've had this for months. There's no scratches on there, on the actual glossy finishing on the back, on the side here. There's no scratches so far. They have the leather material. They're really good as well. So how about the sound quality? I think the sound quality sounds amazing. I think they're very neutral in terms of just taking outside of the box and using it as it is. You don't have to do much to it. But inside of the app itself that it comes with, you can then do some more stuff on there. So for example, you can adjust your active noise cancellation and awareness. You can turn it off completely, which tells you in here as you're doing it as well. Then you got your active noise cancellation on. So when you put it on, you've got different levels. So you have active noise cancellation high, active noise cancellation adaptive, and active noise cancellation low as well. So if you have adaptive, it will automatically adjust the active noise cancellation to your usage and environment, which is great for when you're out and about, when you get in the tube in London, for example. So this will perfectly tune itself to your environment. If you have it on low, it's exactly what it says. So you get less noise. It's recommended for less noise environment. So if you just like in here, for example, I don't need that level of active noise cancellation compared to when I'm out and about. You then have your awareness, which is when you go to voice pass awareness, it provides improved awareness of conversations around you. So for example, if you have that in that mode and you're at the airport and you need to quickly speak to the people at the till, for example, at the counter, you can easily put it into there and you can still hear what they're saying without having to take your headphones off. You then have ambient, which provides awareness of your surroundings. So again, this is less about voice. This is just generally all about your surroundings. So like hearing cars beep around you, buses coming your way, bikes and stuff like that. You should be able to be aware of what's going around you while still being able to play music at the same time if you wish to do so. Moving on, you then have your bass contour settings. Again, this goes back to that tuned Harman system. So you have neutral, which just keeps the bass nice and neutral, nice and flat, and everything's nice and neutral. I think keep it in this mode for all your music genres because that fits in perfectly well for different kind of music, different type of music. You then have enhanced, so the curve kind of goes like this and then goes down a little bit. And then we have attenuated, which means the bass is fully attenuated. You get a bit more bass out of that. So again, it just depends on your music taste and what you like to listen to and the way you like to listen to it. But it's good that they've thought about that and they've put those extra settings there for you. You then have things like your auto off timer. So you can have it to never turn off by itself, or you can have it about 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 3 hours. So that way you can conserve your battery life. You also have on-head detection, which means by flicking that on, you'll be able to then, it recognizes when it's on or off to be able to pause the music that you're listening to, which again can become very useful when listening to music out and about and you want to conserve your battery life. But as far as the app goes, it's very minimal. There's not much you can do on there, which I quite like. It's not overwhelming. And that's true to the design of the headphones as well. There's not many buttons all around it. There's not many settings. There's no like, you know, touchpad settings and all that. It's focused on your music listening experience. You got all the codec that you need. That's very important to high quality music. And then you got good battery life as well, and quite good design in terms of how lightweight it is. When it comes to sound quality, soundstage is great, bass is good, the trebles are good, and the mids as well. I think it just perfectly balances out the kind of music that I listen to. So whether it's I'm listening to Ed Sheeran, some guitars, or like bass music, or heavy drum and bass, it just handles everything very well. It doesn't rattle. And when it comes to phone calls as well, you got 4 microphones that works really well alongside your noise cancellation. So it isolates the noise that I can hear in terms of what's coming in, so I can hear them clearly. And the 4 microphones with wind detection as well and tuning, it means that when it's windy outside or all the noise outside, my voice is picked up very well using those 4 microphones, and people can hear me clearly with no issues at all. Obviously, when it comes to the sound quality, there are other things you have to consider as well. For example, the settings that you have going on here. So the bass contour, if you have it as neutral, it means that the bass level is just nice and neutral across different kind of music genres that you listen to. If you start to tweak with things like your enhanced and attenuated, that's when it starts to change a little bit, because when you listen to bass heavy music, you can't go attenuated because it becomes too much for your hearing and it overpowers the mids and the trebles, so, and even some of the vocals. So it's best to just go neutral in order to fully enjoy that sort of stuff. Otherwise, you'd have to tweak this to make sure that it suits the kind of music that you're listening to. Other thing is the source of the music as well. So when you listen to your music using your iPhone, you're not going to get the same level of LDAC and aptX adaptive that you can get on some of the newer Android devices on the market right now. So that's another thing to consider. One of the things I've been doing is when I use it with my MacBook Pro, for example, I will plug it in using USB-C, because that way I also gets just a little better sound quality compared to using this as Bluetooth connectivity, using this via Bluetooth connectivity completely. So those are the little things you still have to consider when it comes to making the most out of the number 5909s. But other than that, I think they do really well. It handles the music very well, and I think for £1,000, it just takes it just a step above some of the other competitors on the market right now, and including some of the best noise cancelling headphones on the market right now. So that's something to really consider. I think as price point goes, these are very expensive. It's not something that's accessible to most, but if you can afford one of these, this is something that will last you for a long time, because the codecs are quite new as well. So it's not like some old codecs on there, and they are codecs that you're actually going to enjoy using with your music source. So it's something you can buy and use for a long period of time, and it will last you for a long period of time as long as you look after it. So it comes in a case to keep it nice and, you know, nice and pristine for a long period of time. So you can just put your headphones in there whenever you need to. So it keeps it nice and clean. But yeah, I think overall piece of kit, it's very, very good, and I can vouch for it. But that price tag is something that will get you thinking twice before you get your card out and actually buy one of these. But overall, really, really good pair of headphones, and they are very much recommended. So do check them out. But over to you. If you have any questions, let me know what you think. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.